Now let's get into Richard Kilton. So let's see what this Git got for us this time. So we got Shaka's Flaming Bonehead. So he brought flamers again. This dude can't stop. So we got Captain Badrug, Mazral Scrap Bag, Nobs on Smash Squig with Ed Wapa's Kill Choppa. Now, this is what I want this Git to explain to me if I talk to him. How is he finding this more useful or the same, or I want to know how, than the Beastboss on foot, right? Because this is looking almost exactly like my list per point. The difference is I have a Beastboss right here, and a lot of other players do too. He brought a Painboss. As you can see here, his battle line is only 1 unit of 10 Beast Snagga Boyz, right? First thing you see is he a Painboss. Is he doing 2? Is he really bringing the Painboss because he finds that much utility in healing Mazrog every game? That's interesting. So then we have 2 units of boys, followed by 3 trucks, 2 units of Burna Boyz, Flash Skits, 2 units of Gretchen, Knobs, 1 unit of Squighog Boys, 2 units of War Bikers, and 1 unit of Storm Boys. Some people like to go for the additional Storm Bikers for the durability, guys. It's just a preference. You know, and I'm not against 1 unit of Squighog Boys. I started to just drop to just using 1 again constantly. It's fine. I like not having so much impediment on my movement and easier to deploy them where I want. So that's just me. But I really like this list. The one question I have for it is Burna Boyz. Why did you really feel the need for them? You know, maybe it was what we were just talking about with Overwatch or moving these different units. Or is it because, you know, you just had the points left over? And then the other thing I want to know is the Painboss. So that'd be interesting. We can all assume he went for the OC. He wants to regen boys. He wants to feel no pain. They end up getting into someone's weaker objective and holding it for too long. I understand all that. I just want to hear some examples of exactly where these things happen and how often it happens for him to preference that over a Beastboss doing dev wounds. You know what I'm saying, guys? I'm sure some of you guys can understand. We know where he's coming from, but I got to really feel it from his green skin heart. So his first matchup, he had Dark Angels with the Vanguard Spearhead. So this could be a tough matchup right off the gate for Magia here. So we got Osriel, Judicia, Librarian, and Terminator armor for the Blade-driven D. Oop, we know what's happening here, you get. We know what's happening here. We got a Blade Guard veteran squad. So for the Judicia, Centurion, David Sitter squad. Here we see them again, same unit with their missiles and their hands. They're just looking to come down, lay down firepower, then get up and move somewhere else with stupid durability. And they can actually withstand the firepower if they stand there. Company of Heroes again. We got the Deathwing Knights. That's going with the Librarian. They're going to go and infiltrate to the middle of the table and just say, haha, try to kill me. Inceptor, Inceptors, Infiltrators, Scout, Double Scouts, and the Caladius Assassin. What I'm going to say here, guys, and this is always kind of come into play with me whenever I play into one of these units, the mission play matters, but there's always a chance that you can ignore the brick of Terminators, considering it's 500 points of his army and he's going to be in one spot. Now, if you are going to commit to them, understand how durable they are and all the potential they have. But it really does come down to the mission if you have to interact with them. But this is the kind of mission that gives people's nightmares. And if you do choose to ignore the Terminators, you must quickly disintegrate the rest of his scoring units. And when you do get into contact with these Blade Guard veterans, understand that they're going to fight you first with the Judiciar. Just fight in death with your Knobs. Just be like, sure, Knobs, get in there. Or just be prepared to use your flash kits possibly to try to shoot them off if you want, but they have pretty great armor saves, so it's probably not. This is a very difficult list. An army, I'd really, Richard is just an amazing player, so him still putting up 92 points against it comes down to the mission, what really happened, who do you choose to what to commit where. I'd love to know, I'd love to hear, and but let's move on to the next list. And if you know Richard, have him give a shout out and join the Discord so I can crump that Git. We got Invasion Fleet number 2 with the Invasion Fleet of Tyranids. So again, Tyranids making their way around. We got the Hive Tyrant, Old One Eye, crump that Git. 1, 2, 3 units of Gargoyles. Why? Because they're just movement shenanigans to delay and bother people, like I was talking about earlier. The reason why I kind of want Zagra and or Commandos is because you got to get these guys kind of a little bit away and off you, or be able to kind of interact with them. And Flash Kits, of course, if you get them off the table right away and out of the truck right away, interact with them too, right? You got to be able to kind of move already, be around there. And then we got Biovores for their scoring. 2 units of Carnifexes, that's cool. So he just gave that. He because this volume right here, these Death Spitter maggots, actually is kind of tough for the Orks. That's actually a good profile and volume to hurt us, kind of. At the same time, Old One Eye gives them, I believe, +1 ahead. Then we have 2 units of Exocrines, 2 Manaceptors, Neurolictors, Pyrovores, Ripper Swarms, Zoanthropes. Now, I'm just going to say right here, like we talked about earlier, yes, this is a meta, pretty solid tiered list. The difference is when you're trying to play these games where I'm going to stick these Neurolictors on objectives, Orks are like, you just gave me a lily pad, bro. I'm going to go crump that Git. and the Maliceptor is not going to take it. You know what I'm saying? Whoa! Now, the Feel No Pain comes into play when you're playing against Invasion Fleet. I'm not saying Maliceptors just fall over, but there's a chance they just fall over, you know? So Richard just ran him down with 99 points on that. Great to see that. Now we go into his one loss. I'll say his one loss is actually going to be to this guy right here, which is a Grey Knight player, and he got 89 points. I wanted to point that out right here. This guy almost ran a perfect event too. 99, 100, 89, 100, 100. So let's take a look at that matchup. I'm going to say right now, when you're playing Grey Knights, you're actually playing the movement game more than anything. Now, right here, you can see his list says, nothing to see here, just 30 turn. So we know womp, 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 what that means for Orks. We hate to see that great armor save. So we got Librarian, Castle and Crow, and Cal Drago. So the name character allows you to come in and pretty much make an automatic deep strike. I think it's like +3 to your deep strike. So we got Brotherhood Terminator Squad. Mind you guys, when you get into a fight with these Terminator squads, they can actually pull themselves out of combat with you. That's actually their capabilities and such like that. So they'll come down, they'll charge you, delay you from getting on the objective, pull themselves up, fall back onto the objective, and then the next turn they score the primary and you don't. That's how these Terminator squads also go and delay into you, right? So just keep that in mind, that they're coming down, they're shooting you with all their great firepower. So as I show you this list, keep that in your mind as well, or they're running at you. So we got Strike Marines because they could fly. He has a Grey Knights Land Raider Redeemer, and then he also has a Grey Knight Storm Raven gunship. So he's actually delivering them with the deep striking capability, with the Grey Knight Land Raider Redemptor capability, and then the Storm Raven gunship capability of actually being a transport. So that's amazing. Then he has Inceptors. Here's the Paladin Brick, and then here's a Purifier Squad for this firepower. Amazing into infantry, and then a Cladius Assassin. So this guy didn't go nothing is here, just 30 Terminators, because it wasn't all Terminators, but we know that he still brought great durability because everything still has a 2-up armor save. What it really comes into play here is they still do have that potential to move around. The Storm Raven gunship would catch everybody off guard because it has the capability to drop people into your backfield. Great durability in itself. I believe it starts in hover mode when it gets on the table there too. So very interesting though, and it sure to caught everybody off guard that he was able to score like 400 points on this list. Now, would I understand exactly how he did it? Nope, but it's quite amazing that he did it, and it's not, and it had to be if he even took down all these other players and took down Richard Kilton with that. So amazing. That's also why I'd like to hear, if you shout out to Richard Kilton if you're out there, let us know what happened with that. I'd love to hear that. Now going into his fourth matchup, he went into Dead But Rising, the Chaos Demon. We have Be'lakor, Bloodthirster, Great Unclean One, Shalexia's Hellbane, Slilax, and the Blue Sky. 1, 2, 3 Nurglings, Plague Bearers, Flamers, Seeker. This guy is just like, I'm gonna shove everything into the middle of the table, stat check you, maybe do fixed missions, blah blah blah. The difference is Orks actually do really have the potential to just murder a lot of these things. Be'lakor becomes not into play unless he rolls hot into combat. The Great and Clean One, he is very durable, but he doesn't collapse, so you can quite delay him with trucks and stuff like that. But then everybody else, you can actually take them out with typical Ork models. If the the Demons player isn't wise enough to use Nurglings to move block you and delay you, and he just tries to just place them in certain spots and use their auras, I think that's at a deficit to them, and that ends up being how you would win against them. And then last but not least, I don't know what happened here, but this is only a 39. Maybe that was just a typo or something points that he won, but we'll take a look. It was Eldar, Death Jester, Farseer, Skyrunner, Yavrin. So this is Eldar, but they're called gosh, I'm having a brain fart of what Yavrin is a part of. She's a part of that other, sorry, just forget it. I'm out. Whatever. Night Spinner. I can't think of it. Chat, tell me, what that I forgot what that means. Yanari? Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, Yanari. Night Spinner, Swooping Hawk, Warwalkers. One thing to keep in mind as an Ork player, the reason why you see Warwalkers are so amazing. These guys have lances, but they're also like built in -1 to wound at like T9, I believe. We just don't care because we get anti-vehicle stuff, right? Warp Spiders, and the Kabalite Warriors, Reavers, Scourges, Venom. So odd list. I don't really know what happened here with the score. What odd, but hey, great job, Richard Kilton. Shout out, to you again. If you show up, let us know what happened with that odd Grey Knight list, because I know exactly what Grey Knights are trying to do with their typical Terminator list. But with the Storm Raven gunship, I don't really understand how he put up so many points consistently throughout the whole turn. So that's pretty